And we are live, man. We're doing it live, baby. We are doing it live. Welcome back, everybody. Let me and let a little bit of ambient light in. For everybody that's getting to watch on the YouTube that's not listening on the Spotify. Let a little bit of this winter light in for the morning. Let everybody bask in the bright snow on this glorious Wednesday. I hope that everybody's having a good morning. I hope that everybody made it into work okay. Everybody getting tucked in, cozied in, settled into what you're doing. If you're on vacation till the new year, that's even doper, dude. That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm like, God bless. So first off, got to say thank you to everybody that's been with the views on TikTok and YouTube and even Spotify. Because I had been sick on and off this last week. I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Spotify channel, and it's been getting some great traction and views. So thank you, everybody, for going over there and listening. Thank you for all the growth. I'm truly humbled because, like I've said 1,000 times, I'm just a jabroni with a microphone, and y'all listen. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm thinking about later today, maybe going live with some gameplay or something. Going live with some gameplay, maybe doing some Fortnite or something. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it just depends on what the day is doing. I know at one of the properties I maintenance, they're having some heater issues, but with what it sounds like an HVAC technician has to come and do everything, sign off on some shit. So probably not a good idea that I go over there and do it because I'm not licensed as an HVAC technician. So I'd get in trouble, and so would my uncle. So I don't know. Might go do that because winter's just it's pretty slow for me. My busy seasons are really like mid to end spring and all of summer. Like just constantly busy in the summertime. Always got something I can get my hands on in the summertime, because I also help maintenance about 30 acres that we let people use at our rental properties and everything. So in summertime, I can always be clearing trees or clearing trails or cutting something back or fixing something. So summertime's usually pretty busy. I like it. I love summertime. Love being out there with God, out there, getting just to be on. Sometimes that's why I love that property so much, man, because sometimes I get so connected with him out there. I know it's totally cliche, like, oh, long-haired dude out in the woods like a hippie connecting with God, but yeah, I mean, I do feel like I connect with him a lot heavier out there. That's just me personally. And getting in with today's show, we are going to be talking about some non-canonical stories in the Bible. These are going to be a couple stories from the Gospel of Thomas. I know it's not canonical and it's considered Gnostic or in an apocrypha book. So, I mean, but they're fun stories. They're fun stories. It's pretty much just fan fiction for Jesus, and who doesn't love reading a good fan fiction? I know I do. I love reading what ifs and all that stuff. So this is fun. Don't take it too seriously. Don't let it affect your relationship and views with the Lord. I urge you to continue on your walk with him. And from these stories, if they do challenge something that you believe in, pray on it. Ask him what's up. I'll let you know. He doesn't lie to you, I promise. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get into the first story. Now, should I Yeah. I'll bring up the podcast media so that y'all can see the text as well. So this is from gnosis.org/library/inftoma.htm. Um, it's from this is text from the Apocryphal New Testament, the Gnostic Society Library. Gnosticism is a real religion. Some of these people really do believe this stuff. And it's nuts. I thought I just got. I think I'm tripping. Oh, it's over there. Hold on one second. Let me get my water. I was gonna. I don't know. I don't think this is my water. I must be tripping. I don't know. So we're gonna go ahead and read a couple of these. You know, and then we can talk about it. You know. All right. Here we go, everybody. Thomas the Israelite, tell unto you, even all the brethren that are of the Gentiles, to make known unto you the works of the childhood of our Lord Jesus Christ and his mighty deeds, even all that he did when he was born in our land, whereof the beginning is thus. This little child Jesus, when he was 5 years old, was playing at the ford of a brook, and he gathered together the waters that flowed there into pools, and made them straightway clean, and commanded them by his word alone. And having made soft clay, he fashioned thereof 12 sparrows. And it was the Sabbath where he did these things, or made them. And there were also many other little children playing with him. And a certain Jew, when he saw what Jesus did, playing upon the Sabbath day, departed straightway and told his father Joseph, Lo, thy child is at the brook, and he hath taken clay and fashioned 12 birds, and hath polluted the Sabbath day. And Joseph came to the place and saw, and cried out to him, saying, Wherefore doest thou these things on the Sabbath, which it is not lawful to do? But Jesus clapped his hands together and cried out to the sparrows and said to them, Go. And the sparrows took their flight and went away chirping. And when the Jews saw it, they were amazed and departed and told their chief men that which they had seen Jesus do. But the son of Annas the scribe was standing there with Joseph, and he took a branch of a willow and dispersed the waters which Jesus had gathered together. And when Jesus saw what was done, he was wroth and said unto him, O evil, ungodly, and foolish one, what hurt did the pools and the waters do thee? Behold, now also thou shalt be withered like a tree, and shall not bear leaves, neither root nor fruit. And straightway the lad withered up wholly, but Jesus departed and went unto Joseph's house. But the parents of him that was withered took him up, bewailing his youth, and brought him to Joseph, and accused him for that thou hast such a child, which doeth such deeds. So this one, like right off the bat, do I believe that like when Jesus was a kid, he might have like brought dead animals back to life, or maybe made animals out of clay like he did man and make them come to life? I don't know. I don't know the extent of his like divinity and what he was able to do at what age. That's why you have to realize that these are just fan fiction, because these paint Jesus out to be like a superhero, you know? And yes, while God can do all of these things, he didn't come down here to show off and be this great superhero in front of everybody. And this also goes into account of also your faith in the type of person that Mary was and the raising that she would have done. Like Jesus he was a gentle child. I honestly don't think that, especially this next story, this one right here. Like, I honestly don't believe like he killed a kid because the kid did that. Like, God is not about that. So that right there should show you that, oh yeah, this book is it totally contradicts like pretty much all the rest of the written text. So yeah, we shouldn't believe it. That's why people are like, whoa, why can't we believe the Gnostics? We believe the other ones. Okay, well, if you have like 10 books in front of you and 9 of them say one thing and another, and the 10th book says something completely different, you tend not to believe the one and believe the 9, just, majority rule, everything like that, so that's why these books are mainly, not in the canon, because you got to look at it like that. Like, they contradict a lot of what the canonical story tells. And like I said, if you got 9 books saying one thing and 1 book saying not that thing, you're going to get rid of the one that's not saying it because it's probably bullshit, or it's just been played with the game of telephone with campfire stories like too much, and it's just not even the story it was at the beginning anymore. So we'll read this other one. After that again, he went through the village, and a child ran and dashed against his shoulder. And Jesus was provoked and said unto him, Thou shalt not finish thy course. Go all thy way. And immediately he fell down and died. But certain, when they saw what was done, said, Whence was this young child born? For that every word of his an accomplished work. God, I can't read that today. For that every word of his is an accomplished work. And the parents of him that was dead came unto Joseph and blamed him, saying, Thou that hast such a child canst not dwell with us in the village, or do thou teach him to bless and not to curse, for he slayeth our children. So that's like another thing, like a kid bumped into Jesus and he was like, yep, die. Yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. That's not going to happen. I've read a lot of these stories as well. There's another one where Jesus does it to his teacher. Oh, here it is right here, the Alpha and the Omega. Trying to teach Jesus the alphabet, and he's pretty much like, I'll show me the Alpha, and I'll show you a true Beta or something. We'll read it right now. Now a certain teacher, Zacchaeus, by name, stood there, and he heard in part when Jesus said these things to his father, and he marveled greatly that being a young child he spake such matters. And after a few days he came near unto Joseph, and said unto him, Thou hast a wise child, and he hath understanding. Come, deliver him to me, that he may learn letters. And I will teach him the letters, all knowledge, and that he salute all the elders, and honor them as grandfathers and fathers, and love them of his own years. And he told him all the letters from Alpha even to Omega clearly, with much questioning. But Jesus looked upon Zacchaeus, the teacher, and saith unto him, Thou that knowest not the Alpha according to its nature, how canst thou teach others the Beta? Thou hypocrite, first if thou knowest it, teach the Alpha, and then will we believe thee concerning the Beta. Then began he to confound the mouth of the teacher concerning the first letter, and he could not prevail to answer him. And in the hearing of many, the young child saith to Zacchaeus, Hear, O teacher, the ordinance of the first letter, and pay heed to this, how that it hath. What follows is really unintelligible in this and in all parallel texts. A literal version would run something like this, how that it hath lines and a middle mark, which thou seest, common to both, going apart, coming together, raised up on high, dancing, a corrupt word, of 3 signs, like in kind, a corrupt word, balanced, equal in measure, thou hast the rules of the Alpha. Now when Zacchaeus, the teacher, heard such and so many allegories of the first letter spoken by the young child, he was perplexed at his answer and his instruction being so great, and said to them that were there, Woe is me, wretch that I am! I am confounded. I have brought shame to myself by drawing to me this young child. Take him away, therefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph. I cannot endure the severity of his look. I cannot once make clear my word. This young child is not earthly born. This one that can tame even fire. Be like this is one begotten before the making of the world. What belly bare this? What womb nurtured it? I know not. Woe is me, O my friend. He putteth me from my sense. I cannot follow his understanding. I have deceived myself, thrice wretched man that I am. I strove to get me a disciple, and I am found to have a master. I think, O my friends, upon my shame, for that being old I have been overcome by a young child, and I am even ready to faint and die because of the boy, for I am not able at this present hour to look upon him in the face. And when all men say that I have been overcome by a little child, what have I to say? And what can I tell concerning the lines of the first letter whereof he spake to me? I am ignorant. O my friends, for neither beginning nor end of it do I know. Wherefore I beseech thee, my brother Joseph, take him away unto thine house, for he is somewhat great, whether God or angel, or what I should call him, I know not. And as the Jews were counseling Zacchaeus, the young child laughed greatly and said, Now let those bear fruit that were barren, and then let them see that were blind in heart. I am come from above that I may curse them, and call them to the things that are above, even as he commanded, which hath sent me for your sakes. And when the young child ceased speaking, immediately all they were made whole which had come under his curse. And no man after the durst provoke him, lest he should curse him, and he should be maimed. So that's why, like, with some of these stories, like I don't doubt, because I mean, there's even stories in the Bible, the story in the Bible where Jesus is a young boy, about 12 years old, and he's speaking in the synagogue, and he's in the temple, in the temple, and he's like, he's speaking so fluently and saying words and parables and phrases that a boy of his age shouldn't know. Now, like a story like this, a teacher hearing of this boy, coming to find him, and then realizing how well spoken and intelligent he is, like that might have really happened. Like that whole Zacchaeus, the teacher, I hope I'm saying his name right. Like that might have really happened, you know? That's why some of these stories are kind of like, it might have happened. Like Mary might have told them some of these stories after he like died, resurrected, and then ascended to heaven. Excuse me. Like she may have told them some of these stories, and they just got really, really, really inflated to make him seem like this just kind of seems like propaganda to get people hooked. Like these stories and stuff were probably the start of like people's distaste towards like the lies and propaganda and everything that comes with like Christianity and everything like that. But you do have to admit that, like, if you think about it, yeah, Jesus was a very intelligent child. He could speak very well. Could there have possibly been a teacher that came and heard of him and had a meeting with him and realized like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to teach this kid the alphabet and he's teaching me the alphabet. Wow. Okay. Yeah. You're super smart. You are God. Later. You know, that might have happened. That might have happened. That'd be cool. You know, but you also gotta remember that the New Testament is really just focusing on what Jesus said during his ministry and what he did during his ministry and the message he wanted to push. We as people with time and boredom and things like that, we are the ones that want the extra stories, and we want the full biography, and we want this, and we want more of him. And I mean, that's great. Everybody should seek his face and want more. But we have to be truthful in our matters as well. So there's that. But yeah, a lot of this stuff, like that's why I say like some of this stuff might have happened. Um, but it probably got super fabricated and inflated and everything just to make God seem even better than he already is, you know. It just, I don't know. I really don't know what would compel someone to just write fabrications and everything. Like I don't know what compels people to do this stuff. I understand that you're trying to make it more interesting and you're trying to get more people involved and more people in the church and the faith and really taking on the embodiment of Christ, but building it off of lies and propaganda and false stories and, you know, grandiose accusations, like that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. And all these apocrypha books really have done is just cause like a controversy. You know, and then also too, like with the Book of Enoch, like I think some stories are like kind of legit in that, you know, they might have just been kicked around like too wrong, you know, because like I've said, like everything you can kind of like feel it in the Bible too whenever you're reading it. Like when you read Genesis, after like everything before Noah's flood and afterwards, like a little bit, kind of just feels like these stories weren't really written down that much. They were just told over like campfires and on like service days and everything like that. These stories were told, you know, and they got flipped around, moved around, you know, that's why they're kind of inconsistent and there's plot holes in them. But then once you get to like Abraham and Isaac and everything, there starts being more historical evidence we're finding with these biblical stories from that far back. And you can even feel it in the canonical Bible where it starts feeling like it's more actually like historic and not more storytelling and metaphorical and everything like that. Like don't get me wrong, it has like it's metaphors and everything like that. But you can totally tell that shift in it. I personally do. You know. But with like the Book of Enoch, I don't doubt that, you know, some of those things happen because in the Bible it says, you know, Enoch was one of God's favorites and he took him. So why wouldn't God show Enoch certain things? You know, if he was so with God and walked with him, why wouldn't God show him visions and wonders? You know, that's always like, I feel like the Book of Enoch has gotten more hate than love. And I don't really understand why. Because some of the stories too, like the plot holes and the holes that we're talking about in Genesis, like pre-Abraham and Isaac and like pre-flood, the Book of Enoch kind of like fills in some of those. So it's like, that kind of like goes with it, man. Like, why did that at least not get included? Why didn't you just edit the Book of Enoch? You know? So, and the Book of Enoch probably too started out the same way that all this other shit started out, telling stories over the campfires, telling stories at like, you know, service and everything like that, and on certain feasts and festivals, you know, so people are just going off of memory and what they perceive because perception is all reality, you know, or reality is perception, however you want to say it. But, you know, that's kind of how I feel about like the apocryphy books. Like, no, you shouldn't take them literally. But they are fun. They are fun to read. Has to do with God, and it's some fan fiction, you know? I mean, you're gonna consume worse content than this out there today, so not really that bad. But like I said, you shouldn't let it sway your relationship with the Lord. You shouldn't be put off from Jesus because like him killing things and stuff, I tell you, that's not Jesus. On my personal walk with our Lord Jesus Christ, I can assuredly say that he would not do that. That's not his MO and that's not what he's about. So read them and then go to your seclusion, go to your closet, your room, your bathroom, wherever you go, out in the woods, out for a drive, for a skateboard ride, whatever you're doing, you know, and ask him, talk to him about it. If it conflicts you, talk to him. No one should tell you to stop consuming information. you know? So if you want to read it, but it shouldn't sway your opinion on the Lord, especially whenever it's not recognized by any of the even the different divisions of faith in there, except for Gnosticism. Only Gnostics accept this thing, you know? So I think, that's, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind whenever you are reading these books. Okay. Cause I don't want anybody to sit there and say like, oh man, Roshi, I went and read that book and now I don't believe anything anymore. So this is all your fault if I go to hell. Like, no, nope, 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 nope. But cause I've read Thomas, and there's something that's what I'm saying. Like some of the stories, like, yeah, that might, because like there's a line in the Gospel of Thomas where Jesus pulls him aside and he says, I am God, you are God, we are God. And that's kind of like also given birth to this oneness, universal ideology or religion, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know. Doctrine. I don't really know. I don't know how you want to classify it. I mean, in the Bible, it kind of like touches on that. I mean, God says that we have the power to command demons and everything like that. So I mean, like, and yes, he is in you. So there is a part of him in you, but it's like a part of you that's like in your kid, like I'm not my daughter and she's not me. She has pieces of me, but she's not me, and there's pieces of me in her, but I'm not her. It's kind of the same thing. Like God, and that whole like God broke off a piece of himself and created you so that he could go out and experience the universe because he doesn't understand it, and then you come back and he absorbs the information and now he knows. No, I'm sorry, that's not it at all. What happened was God was lonely. God was very lonely. He was like, man, I want some friends, because we all want friends. And he made people. He made every single one of us. He made you. Remember that, because all the like that universal stuff and all that's satanic at the end of the day, because all it does is just draw you away from God, because God wants you to know that he made you individually special with all your views and all your thoughts and all your free will, because he loves you for you. Whoever you are, he loves you for you, and you are going to live on, and you will live forever with Jesus Christ, because he loves you. He wants to be your friend for all of eternity. All of eternity. He wants to hang out with you. He wants to hang out. He wants to do stuff. Probably go ride go-karts, eat some freaking popcorn. It'd be sweet, dude. It'd be freaking sweet, dude. So like, that's why you gotta come in with your shield, reading these Gnostic books and everything, and these apocrypha books. Come in with your shield, with the Holy Spirit shield, because the devil is lurking like a roaring lion, and he is there to trip you up. Because remember, one of his greatest tricks is telling you 9 truths and 1 lie and making you think the whole damn thing was a lie. So just remember that. And just don't be too scared. They're just books with wordy words in them, They can't send you to damnation, only you can. And they can't save you, only Jesus Christ can. So just remember that whenever you're reading them. Okay? And I don't think anybody should, tell you to not consume information. Even if it is the enemy lying to you, know thy enemy. Know how they're going to try and come and attack you through the church. I've always been a firm believer in that, I'm not going to lie. I've read like some satanic like stuff. I've prayed over it, prayed for protection and for pure guidance from like the Holy Spirit to keep everything that is not of the Lord away from me, because I am curious to know my enemy, how they work, things like that. Like I haven't read like the Satanic Bible or anything like that, but I've read like texts on like demons and kings and princes of hell and everything like that. and hierarchy and Dante's Inferno and everything like that. And I do believe that you should pray whenever you read and consume things like that. They especially whenever they are directly geared towards the forces of evil. Even whenever you're watching a video, just shoot out a quick prayer, man. You have no idea how much that vibe that you're putting out with God of those prayers of protection, how much good it can actually do and protect you. So that's gonna do it for this one. I just wanted to kind of read that and talk on that. I don't believe that Jesus did all that with like the kids down in the brook. Now did he play around and make some like birds or little snakes and stuff out of clay whenever he was a little kid? Because he could do that as God? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, in the Bible, it does say that he went to go get some fruit and the tree, from different accounts, the tree either withered away or got up and literally walked away from him. So as like a kid or a young teen, could he have like played around doing stuff like that? Maybe. Did he kill a kid for telling on him for doing it? No, not at all. He would have forgave him instantly. He would have forgave him and told him, bless you. Thank you for keeping the law of Moses. That's what he would have told him. God's a little bit of a troublemaker too. He likes pushing the edges. So I wouldn't doubt if he did do something like that on a Sabbath. He did a lot of things on the Sabbath that people didn't like. God marches to the beat of his own drum. He is the drummer. He's the one that you should be following. And the teacher thing, like I said, was there a teacher that heard of like this kid that was really well spoken and intelligent and could hold conversations like a grown adult? Probably. I mean, Nazareth wasn't that big. It was only like 3 square miles or 2 miles, something like that. 2 square miles, something. Or it might not even be that big. Like back in Jesus' time, it was like super tiny. It was super tiny. So yeah, I mean, if there's like a really smart and well-spoken kid coming out of like this tiny little town, yeah, I mean, that's going to get like buzz. I mean, that still gets buzz today, like genius kids, that still gets buzz today. So was he doing that? Possibly. Yeah, probably. That probably happened. And he came and listened and Jesus was like, yep. And he was like, wow. Because again, he did do that to all those other rabbi and everything. And they were like, oh, wow, this little 12-year-old is doing better than some of us. What is going on? So, I mean, that stuff might have happened. That's why I say go in if you want to read them. I'm not encouraging you to. I encourage you to read the canonical Bible and work on your personal relationship with Jesus. Because really, at the end of the day, reading these things that are non-canonical are just a waste of time. How does that spread his word, spread the kingdom of God and what his ultimate message is? These are just one-off stories. I guess, you could have the information to be like, yes, I know everything about the Lord. I know everything about him. I am the smartest ever. But that sounds a lot like inflating your own ego, and you got to watch out for that. He's not a huge fan of you inflating your ego and not being humble. So I read him just because I get bored. My mind's got to go do something every like million miles an hour a second. So I'll read them out of boredom, things like that. It gets cold around here, man. In the wintertime, we get locked down for like a month or two. You got to find shit to do, But that's going to do it for the cast, man. I hope that everybody enjoyed it. I hope that everybody had fun. I hope that, there was a nice little story for you to hear. Nice little cozy story to hear. That's all it was just a story. Nice cold morning with a fresh blanket of white snow on the ground and some ice, and cozying up with good old Roshi and a nice fan fiction about Jesus. Except for the whole killing thing. That's kind of whack. Like, come on, guys. But they were into like, the Jews were back then were really, really, really into conquering. I kind of feel like they were trying to spin like, I mean, he wanted to be that ruthless guy. I mean, look what he did as a kid. He wanted to be that conqueror, but he just had to calm down and do it this way. I really like that might be some of the swaying of like what they were doing. So don't take it too seriously. I love you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the show. I will be back tonight for sure at 9:30 p.m. doing the show with my lovely wife, Kimberly. Like I said, I might go live later with some Fortnite, though. You never know. You never know. You never know. Been having a lot of fun on that game here lately, even though there has been some like crazy glitches and everything like that. But that's going to do it, guys. Again, everybody that likes the videos, watches the videos, subs to the channels, the TikTok, the Rumble, Twitter, Spotify, thank y'all so much. Y'all are the best. I love you guys. God bless. I hope that you have an awesome New Year's. I know I'm going to have a fun one because I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to be celebrating with the Lord. I'm going to be good, man. So I will see y'all later tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Ring that bell so you know. I'll see y'all there. And if I go live later with some Fortnite, come check it out, man. I'm not 1,000% sure if I'm going to do that. But until I see you tonight at 9:30, you know what to do. It's super simple. It's super duper simple. Just stay sexy. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just stay sexy. I love you guys. God bless. I'll see you tonight.